Alright, well here we are 2 days later and the Cordovox conversion is done. I know somebody's going to say, man, you didn't show us how you did that. Well, there's a reason why. There's two types of people on YouTube who do this kind of thing. There are the people who are professionals with 30, 40 years of experience and very calm peace of mind, and then there are people who are more like me, who are the MacGyvers of this world, who are just not afraid to take anything apart and may goof up and fail. I'll explain briefly how we did this. This cabinet that you're looking at here was originally the tone generator cabinet because it has the controls on top, and you can see it's actually on and lit up. But the rectangle part of the cabinet was the same between the two, but the facing board was different. So I pulled the vent board out from the tone generator and pulled the speaker board out, put the speaker board in the tone generator cabinet, and remounted the controls. They had to be put back a little bit because instead of being the thin board it was, it's, you know, a nice thicker plywood. So the controls have been moved back a little bit. The power amp was transferred into this cabinet, and then the microphone preamp 12AX7 circuit from the tone gen was removed and brought over here. I basically had to buy no parts other than a 3-prong power cord because I wanted to ground it out for safety. But other than that, this is all original stuff. Even the wires are recycled, and in many ways I wish I wouldn't have. The biggest challenge I had with this thing was the shielded wire that was in this, and this is a little snippet of the shielded wire. This stuff, this white whatever it's wrapped in, it feels like it's paper and wax. You can see how that little stupid wire is like melting out of there. When you touch this thing with the soldering iron, this middle core wire just wants to melt. So if you want to solder the braid to something for shielding, you have to worry about melting through to the core. And if you want to solder the core, you have to worry about the core melting right through to the outside. So just a nightmare. In retrospect, I should have chucked it and used some modern rubber wire for just the shielded stuff. The other wire in the thing was all modern, you know, PVC coated, I guess. But, you know, it was all normal, modern stuff. It soldered up nice. But anyway, I'm sure you probably just want to listen to it. The knobs on it, basically, we have master volume and we have a gain. And when you turn the gain all the way up, it gets a little crunchy. There's actually a limiter circuit in this that if the speakers are putting out too much power, it'll start to bleed them off so you don't blow them up. Probably a function of the organ thing in here, but it doesn't really give a bad tone, so I'm not going to mess with it. Especially, you know, 40-year-old speakers, I'm not going to be able to find them again. And it does sound good as it is. If anything, it's a little on the bright side, but that's why your guitar has a tone knob. You can roll your tone knob back, and you can bleed some treble off right from the guitar and get a very nice tone. So for that reason, I'm not going to go in and tinker the circuit and try to get it perfectly balanced for a guitar that's wide open, because that just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, it's really sounding good. We'll play it a little bit, and then I'll just let you take a look at the control panel and the way that it was done. But I have christened it the Polka Warrior, just for the history of it being an accordion amp. So we'll just strike a few chords here. And we got to get loud because loud is fun. Bring it up. But it's very rich, it sustains nicely, it's got a nice sort of a compressed, very warm tone. I really can't complain about it. So we'll take a 2-second look inside and see what we've done and call it a win. Okay, so we're going Skycam here. Hopefully I don't shake the camera too bad. But that's the power amp as was. The only thing that's changed is the power cord. And the output, the two cables there originally had twice as many cables as they do now coming out of it. So basically I took the B+ for the preamp, the filament voltage, and the audio. Yeah, I think that's about it. And we ran that up to, see that little gold box on the side? That was the microphone preamp. There's actually there were two preamps in there. One was the microphone and one was the organ accordion. And I looked at the way that the organ accordion one was wired, and it was not appropriate for what we wanted to do. It just would not have enough gain. And then all of that jazz goes up to the tone controls that are under there in the chrome box. So that's about the size of it. And I have officially named this. Let's see if we can read it. It is the, tip it so we can see it in the light. It is the Polka Warrior. So there you go. That's our Cordovox conversion. Sorry if I made anybody seasick, but we basically have a 12AX7, both triodes working for amplification. We come to another 12AX7, which the first triode is amplification. The second one is the inverter. So the second half is used as inversion for the 7591 power tubes. And then out we go to the speakers. And that little 1/4-inch jack, I said, what in the world is that thing? What is that? Was that added later? Was that original? It's been in there a long time, but the speakers do plug into the side, but it's a weird proprietary looking plug. So that you can plug a regular 1/4-inch in, and I guess power some other speaker if you want to. So there you go. There's our converted Cordovox CE, now the Polka Warrior guitar amp by Mr. V. Thanks for watching. Everybody have a great day. Hopefully I didn't make you seasick with air cam. And we're going to get back into a couple other projects, but I appreciate a tip of the hat to everybody who at least tried to answer a couple questions that I had, but I ended up just buying the schematic and going at it full MacGyver. But hey, it's done and it works and it sounds good, right? It's a victory. See you soon.